as the Our Media channel. My name is Josiah. We have quite a lot of interesting, stuff to talk about today, as far as football is concerned. So Newcastle broke a 70-year drought without a major trophy. The last time they actually won one was in 1955, and they had to wait until 2025 before winning another trophy. So in 55, it was the FA Cup. In 2025, it was the Carabao Cup, and they did it in grand style. Actually, they beat Liverpool by 2-1 to be crowned champions, and it's such a touching story. Even prior to the game, there was this famous interview where one old man was being asked, about what he feels or what it means to even go to Wembley, and he was in tears, actually saying that he's been supporting Liverpool for 60 years and he's never seen anything like this before. And there's a team that has gone through a lot. They got relegated some years back. They fought back again, and now you talk about one of the most promising and exciting teams to watch in the Premier League, and you can't take out Newcastle. We'll be talking about their success story a bit, to know what they've done right after that Saudi takeover. Bringing in Eddie Howe, bringing in a striker like Alexander Isak. Some top players, Bruno Guimaraes, Sandro Tonali, they've done quite a lot of things, but we'll be talking about how they've managed to get to where they are. There's a team that played in the UEFA Champions League 2 seasons ago. Don't forget that it took, something to just knock them out. So they're a team that you'd always want to. For me personally, I have, some soft spot for Newcastle. To help me with the discussions, I have 2 gentlemen in the studio, like very, very astute, Pandit Dela to the extreme left, and Atiga Force Mauli to my immediate left. And welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
To be around.
Yeah. How does it feel like to go 70 years without a trophy? I'm struggling to know how.
At least as a Ghanaian,
With AFCON, yeah, you say 40. No, but 40 is nothing compared to 70.
Oh yeah, but at least that's like also as long as waiting for a while. And I think
that's a long time.
Yeah, 70 years is a long time, and then but the fact that they've been able to come back and win should tell you that it's not rocket science. It's just straightforward. You just need to do certain things right, and I think first of all, the takeover really helped them.
The Saudi takeover.
Because but also they had a very most dramatic takeover. They had a lot of.
Yeah, it was thought for some time, wasn't it? By the UK government. Yeah.
The UK government had issues with them. The fans has to go on demonstration. Was a lot. I think the people in Newcastle had gone through a lot. They really struggled for a while, and for me, I think they deserve it.
You think their decision to hold on to Eddie Howe, because when Eddie Howe first came, we were all thinking, yeah, there's the same guy who brought Bournemouth, from the lower divisions, and they managed to make a name for themselves. Unfortunately, they got relegated again. But you were thinking after the takeover, we're hearing rumors Jose Mourinho is coming. Definitely, there was this, talks about bringing in a top-notch coach, to lead the project. First, you think it has paid off, and Eddie Howe currently is the best English manager, alive.
Eddie Howe is the best English manager now, but the decision to keep him hasn't paid off. You understand? I mean,
you think so?
No. Yes, you can win the FA Cup, you can win the Carabao Cup, but is that what Newcastle is all about? I mean, Newcastle is a team that in the mid 90s were fighting for the EPL with Black.
But they never won it.
They never won it.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that in the mid 90s, they were fighting with Manchester United and Blackburn Rovers for the EPL. I get to the point. You see, it is because of Mike Ashley that they dwindled, and then they were relegated a couple of times from the EPL. Then the takeover came. You see, when you're in the projectile project, when you want to move from being a mid-table club to one of the best, you would have to change the structure of the club, the mentality of the players, and then the coaching department as well. I'm not going to take anything away from Eddie Howe, but Eddie Howe is not a top-notch coach. You understand? It's going to get you there, but it's not going to get you to winning the English Premier League. It's not going to get you to winning the Champions League. And that is the intention of this Saudi Arabian sovereign fund. Their intention is to dominate, just like what Chelsea did, just like what Man City have been able to do.
But are they not on that?
Oh no, they are not on that projectile.
No, you think so?
No, they are not on that projectile. You see, since the takeover, they've gone to the Champions League once. I get to the point. Meaning that they've been in the top 4 once.
Yeah.
Apart from that, they've blown hot and cold. There's no consistent, or there's no consistency. There's no that the level of development is not consistent with the investment that is available.
How long has the takeover been?
Like 5 or 6 years.
It's been 5 years.
5 years now. Yeah.
It's been 5 years. You see. We were all here in 2004 when Chelsea was bought by Abramovich. We saw the difference.
No, the timeline is different.
No, I'm coming. We were all here when PSG was bought by the Qataris. We saw the difference.
Another different timeline.
We were all here when Man City was bought by the Saudis. What was the Saudis?
Yeah, no, the UAEs, the Abu Dhabi.
We saw the difference.
How long did it take?
Half a decade ago, we saw the takeover of Newcastle. Is it the same thing? No. What I'm trying to say is that, yes, it's going to take time for the project to get developed. You see, but we should see a trajectory. We should see the timelines. We should see development upon development. What we see right now is that there's development in one phase, and then there's retrogression the next season. Having qualified for the Champions League last season, I felt that, yeah, they weren't going to get far, but there should have been consistency in qualifying for the Champions League again, because they have been able to sign marquee players, right? They've been able to sign some fantastic players, and they have one of the best strikers in the world. It is then up to the management to make sure that they have a coach who is going to bring out the best in this player. Because if you have a striker who is going to get you 20-25 goals a season in Isak, then you need somebody who is going to make it possible for you to be consistently challenging for the Champions League. And that is what they've not been able to do. So for the past 5-6 years, if you tell me that you still want to wait a decade before the project is born, before the project is birthed, or before the project is, for lack of right word, before the project is, let's say, cooked, then I believe that is just a bit of money.
Are we not looking at the factors and, comparing? Yeah, I like the way you went back and compared it to the Chelsea takeover. And you look at the signings these people are doing, and these are not even like big money signings. You compare that to the Chelsea takeover, and we saw the players Drogba, ACN, and this book came in the Saudi. It was a partial. It was more like a partial takeover before
the players Chelsea bought in 2004, right? Were not world class.
They were
good players in their various.
And that's what happens with
then they brought in a coach who had won the Champions League proud. Do you understand? That is why I'm saying that they needed a coach of that caliber. They needed a coach of the mentality of winning.
But the materials were not there.
What is the essence of buying a club and then promising the Newcastle faithfuls that they are going to be challenging for titles, and you are not going to invest?
They've already won one.
No, see, the Carabao Cup is not something that you are going to be elevated.
But they paraded after winning.
But of course they will parade, because for 70 years, if you haven't won,
I want to understand something. What were you really expecting from them?
From after the takeover?
Yeah.
After the takeover, I expected that there's going to be a project. The project is in inception, but I don't see the developmental phases.
Do you see the PSG takeover as a successful one?
You can say, because before the takeover, it was Marseille and Olympique Lyon. It was Marseille and Olympique Lyon who were Saint-Etienne once in a while, who were continuously dominating the French League 1. Then after the takeover, they have been on that projectile. They have consistently won the League 1, except for I think 1 or 2 seasons.
But I think you're missing the point that Newcastle the owners didn't really look at dominating England right after the takeover.
The owners and
the indicator.
That is the statement made after the takeover.
The key indicator has to do with the signings they are making, and they've not even signed. PSG signed Neymar for how much?
Yeah.
You're looking at Chelsea. They made some cute signings during their time. PSG, their record signings still remains tonally.
You see how much money they spent? Chelsea spent on Mikel Obi.
How much did they spend?
To bring him in,
where he was.
No, the agent fees and the agent fees.
They paid 12 million euros. They paid 12 million pounds.
12 million pounds at that time.
2000.
Not for an African. Not for an African. For the second best player in the under-20 in 2005.
Yeah, but that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money for a quality player. Do you understand me?
But we can't say same about Newcastle.
No, we can't say same. But I am not saying that. I am not saying that Newcastle should be winning the EPL every single season. I am saying that they should be challenging for the EPL. That is my point.
You compare their financial, power, and they are spending priors to the likes of City, Manchester United, Chelsea,
come on.
Tottenham Hotspurs, Liverpool, and they are nowhere close to these guys.
Tottenham Hotspur doesn't spend.
They do spend.
No,
they
don't
bought Solanke
spend.
for 70 million.
That is the key point. That is an outlier.
Yeah.
You understand? You see, when it comes to the most effectively managed club who makes a lot of money without signings, it's Tottenham. You see, my point is that
Your point is that Newcastle has not been.
Newcastle has they haven't done enough. They haven't done enough to justify the flamboyance, to justify the promise made to the China Castle.
But they've delivered. They've delivered.
Okay.
Gentlemen, let's. I don't want to stay too much on this. But there's still for me personally, I think Newcastle have been successful. They've been very after they take over because they didn't do allow that takeover to happen for them to rub shoulders with the likes of Manchester City. And even qualify for the Champions League, I think it's even the highest achievement for them, I believe. But let's
go back and listen to the statement that the head of the Saudi Arabian says.
But do you know this is the first phase of the project? Said, do you know they've not even started spending?
I am saying saying that. Go back and read the statement that the head of the fund said. What he said when he took over.
Interesting.